Hello, everybody out there on YouTube. We are the Middle-Aged Guys, and it is Thanksgiving weekend of 2018, and we are here back at my house. Not in the living room, not on the old couch. We are actually going to go ahead and we're going to review the movie Creed 2, which was released out just the 21st of November on Wednesday, and we had a chance to go and see it. Yeah, this actually marks a kind of a special milestone for us, but we'll get into that after we get the introductions out of the way, okay? If you don't know, I am the Reverend.
The Theme here.
And I'm Grey Mouse 1.
Creed 2. The reason why this is so interesting for us is that the very first Middle-Aged Guys video that we actually posted up on YouTube back in the end of 2016 was actually us going out of the way doing a very impromptu review of the first Creed. All right. And I think universally, with all the folks here in the room, we pretty much agreed that it was a great movie that was in the Rocky vein. All right. And seeing that this particular movie was coming up, there was a few worries that I had since, what is it? Ryan Coogler isn't the original director for Creed. He wasn't the director who was handling this one. It was Stephen Capell Jr., right? And Stephen Capell Jr. actually has a history. His background is more short films and TV type projects, stuff like that. So I was a little bit worried about that. But I think, you know, when we get into the review, you're going to see that my worry is probably not needed as much. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this like we've done most of our other reviews. We're going to cover what we liked in the movie, what we didn't like. We're going to mention a few things that we saw connected between the previous movies and this one. And then also at the end, we're going to talk about what we hope to see with a new movie if they decide to make a third one. All right. Is this going to be spoilers? Okay. Spoiler warning right now. So if you want to go ahead and jump to the end of the video to see our final thoughts, you can go ahead and do so now. But if you want to avoid spoilers and you haven't seen the video yet,
Haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah, you haven't seen the movie yet, go ahead, hit the back button, hit the X, up here,
swipe
or
away,
up here.
whatever you need to do.
Down, left.
Yeah. All right. So who wants to start out? What did you guys like about the movie?
You know what I mean? Man, okay. They got right into it, first of all. They didn't try to delay us. They didn't try to surprise us. They didn't say, oh, well, who's going to be the villain, or who's going to be his next fight, or who's going to be the opponent, or what's going to happen. No, they got right into it as far as the story.
Yeah.
They didn't try to force feed us, and they didn't do any freaking previously on Creed or any garbage like that.
No, they didn't do anything like that.
But that's the gist of it. I have much more, but I don't want to just spill my guts here. Grey Mouse, what about you?
I'm kind of in the same vein that you're in. You know, it's the same thing. It's like they went straight to the story. Could you watch Creed 2 without watching the first one? Is it a standalone? I mean, I think it would. I think it could survive with the context, because everything that you really need about the. I mean, being a fan of the Creed Rocky movies in general, you know, there was a lot of homage to the previous movies and stuff. But yeah,
there's certain things that wouldn't have worked.
I think the deeper emotional moments that they had in the movie definitely would not be as effective as they ended up being in Creed 2 if you don't watch the first Creed movie.
Well, and that could be also said, like, if you haven't watched any of the Rockies, you know, I mean, because there were some times in the Rocky you're like, wow, I understand.
I was going to go into that. Okay, so can we just jump from Rocky 4 to Creed 2? What about any other in between?
You know what?
Rocky 5, Rocky Balboa, and Creed? Could you do that?
You could, but you would, like, I think what the Rev said earlier, you will be missing a lot of fan service and a lot of,
not exactly fan service, but there are certain details that are more effective if you've seen the other movies, right. But I think we're really kind of tearing into, you know, possible problems with the movie in the vein of what we may not like about it, but we're still trying to cover what we liked about it.
No, this is what I like about it. I mean, it's just like it's like it's a standalone. You could watch it if you haven't seen Creed 1, but it'd be better that you do. But, you know, and I like the fact that the movie stayed true to the characters, stayed true to the characterization. You know, the villain was still that you know, that force there, that brick wall there. You know what I mean? He wasn't pussified. He you know.
No, but I think I know what you're saying. All right. I think it'd be more effective to sit there and say that the villain actually felt like a threat. All right, and that it became pretty obvious during the very beginning of the movie. Like we said, spoilers. You know, Creed, played by Michael B. Jordan, he ends up winning the heavyweight title.
They got that out of the way really quick.
Yeah, they got that out of the way really, really quick.
And the tie to the first one. See, that's the thing about it. It tied to the first Creed. Yeah. On what was on the line.
Yeah. So
besides the title.
So with that, it was pretty effective right off the bat when you realize, oh, hey, this is a guy in the previous movie that walked away with his car. So there's a lot more on the line than just, you know, the title. There's a lot of pride and it's very much a kind of a point of redemption for Creed.
Adonis, was he 23-1 at that moment?
Yeah,
because like it was like he had like 27 wins and 1 loss, and we watched the 1 loss in the first Creed movie.
And that's what I was going to mention also, is that he came off of a loss since the last time we saw him.
Yeah, but what did you like about the movie?
Well, one of the things that I kind of liked about the movie, not to run the risk of sounding like a bitch, but this movie is very, very effective when it gets to hitting you in very manly, sentimental ways. All right. For some reason, I found myself in the theater wondering why the hell it was so dusty and my eyes were so itchy. Yeah, just quite a few moments that I think that they set up. I don't want to sit there and say that it was cliche in the way that they set it up, but they really did go out of their way, and they lean very heavily on, okay, this is the drama part of Creed's story leading into the fight and what it all means to actually get into the fight and get past it and everything else, which is really relates to what Grey Mouse was saying, that, you know, Ivan Drago's kid who shows up, he's a definite threat. Okay, he's a monster.
Victor Drago.
Yeah, Victor Drago is an imposing monster, just like his father. So jumping in and having him show up as number 1 contender for the title after he's won it, it's just one of the many things that kind of turns Adonis Creed's life upside down, because alongside of that, there are multiple other things that are going on within his life that you may have already seen in the previews. He finds out that Bianca, his girlfriend, is pregnant with their soon-to-be kid. He's actually worked up the courage to go ahead and ask her to marry him and all of that. And there's a whole bunch of other things that are involved with will Rocky corner him, or won't he corner him when he actually faces Victor Drago? Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that the movie went ahead and it stepped in that I normally wouldn't have expected if I was just hoping for another Rocky movie post Rocky 4. All right. If this movie was held in the height of the Cold War in the mid '80s, I don't think it would have been anywhere near as emotionally effective as it was. All right, because it would have been really steeped in this whole Cold War, USA versus USSR, patriotism versus communism, and all of that.
But it wasn't about that.
Yeah, thankfully it wasn't about that. All right. Was there anything else you guys wanted to go ahead and point out of what you liked or anything?
Nothing was out of place. No character was out of place.
Okay.
You know, they didn't. No one rubbed me the wrong way as far as saying that. Okay, what the fuck are you doing? You know, no one was unnecessarily dragged into the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the presentation, or even part of the drama that was going on. Everything linked, everything clicked to the past movies, even from Rocky IV to Creed, but it didn't turn into Rocky IV.
Yeah,
and it was a correct sequel to Creed, so that's what I really liked about that. It was its own movie, but it still kept certain points where it was like, okay, look, if you watch these, then you'll actually.
What was good is that they continued the career of Creed.
Yeah.
You know, they continued his career from the end of the last movie where he lost, and then he picked it. Obviously, you know, they made it quite clear that he picked himself up and he won 23 bouts, and so. I mean, what else?
His championship match, he wasn't even about the championship in his fucking mind when he got the title.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there anything else we wanted to go ahead and throw in that particular category before we move on to what we didn't like?
We can move on.
Okay. So let's go ahead and let's cover what we didn't like. I'm going to be really, really short in this list and saying there wasn't a lot that I didn't like. Okay. But there is a problem with Creed 2, okay, and that's for the fact that it's following up the excellent movie, the extremely superb fucking movie that Creed 1 is, all right? And when it came to Creed 1, not only did the story surprise me, but what happened was that in the middle of the actual fights, which actually in Rocky movies tend to be like less than 20% of the whole movie, all right, the actual matches. You know, when Ryan Coogler went ahead, he crafted it, and he actually, especially the first match against Leo, all right, where it was completely shot with no cuts and everything else. It was like it literally blew my mind when that happened. Unfortunately for Creed 2, there isn't anything revolutionary like that happens. All right, I'd have to say that. Even though that it does lean very heavily on emotional drama points and stuff like that. A lot of the drama points are, I hate to say it, they do tread on being a little cliche, you know, as far as what's going on. It's really, really easy to sit there and create drama about the state of somebody's child, because that's something that everybody, unless you're some sort of sociopath, that everybody can feel empathy for.
Right.
You know?
Especially a child.
Yeah, especially a child. But really a lot of that stuff is kind of nitpicking about style. I don't think there's anything technically incorrect that I could have pointed out.
Well, for me, I'm kind of in the same way too. I think the cinematics was better in Creed 1 than Creed 2.
Yeah, actually.
I really do. I think there are some places where it's shown, and there's other places where I think, they could have shot that at a different angle, or they could have zoomed the camera in a little bit more. I mean, with the one with the slow motion of the punches and stuff, I thought that was they did it too much a little bit. You know, I was like, I understand you want the audience to feel the impact of that punch. But it's kind of the same thing with the old cliche in all these other movies with the speeding bullet, you know, and it slows down, you know. It's just like, come on, guys, you know, it's not a bullet, it's not an arrow, it's not a, you know. But I guess that's because we've been watching too many superhero movies. But nonetheless, that the slow motion, if you do it once or twice, it's good. But then you keep doing it like for the whole fight. Like, come on, guys. You know, once or twice, the most intense, you know, like the punch in the rib or the punch in the face, you know. And then it's like again and again. I was like, come on, you know, the slow-mo, come on. You know, that's the only gripe that I have, really.
Yeah, the cinematography, especially the way that they shot the boxing matches, like I said, in comparison to the first movie, it's not it's not done with the same level of genius.
Right. No, I mean, there was that time where he was going up the stairs, out of the dressing room with the camera coming over his shoulder and stuff. Yeah. They kept that. But yeah.
No. Yeah, it just didn't have the...
Just didn't have that feel.
Yeah, it didn't have the same oh wow, oh shit impact.
Right.
That Creed 1 had.
But I mean, a couple of those punches, I was like, ooh, that looks like it hurt,
Yeah. Well, if they stuck to the old school style of choreography that they did with the first one,
right?
I'm pretty sure that some of those punches were actually real.
And then also some of those towards the end when he was fighting the second time for the belt, I noticed that some of it looked like the actors were just standing there doing that. It wasn't really. They were really missing punches. I mean, they were some of the punches in the people's face, like from what I'm doing, right? And you know what I mean? I don't know. I saw that, and I was a little like, what was that?
Well, I think that really goes back to how the fights were shot.
Yeah, maybe really that angle was horrible. It
really does connect
right?
with that. Yeah,
that one angle, I was like,
no. I mean, well, the thing was, The thing about it though is it wasn't as bad as Rocky IV when we watched Rocky IV last night before we watched
Gloves.
yeah, and other things. But yeah, that's something else. What about you, Theme? Was there anything in there that you didn't like or you felt it was out of place?
For me, the only thing that kind of bothered me is that you knew the direction that the freaking movie was going to go.
Yeah,
you saw.
You saw it a mile away.
I mean, you saw it. Yeah. However, the presentation of it is great, but you knew what part was going to come next.
Right.
It was no secret of what was going to happen right afterwards or what they were going to bring in as soon as you saw certain people in certain places.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like, damn it, I'm finishing the lines before they even say it in the damn theater. I think you guys heard me when I started doing that. And it's like, it didn't take anything away. Because that means that I'm emotionally involved and paying attention to what's going on.
Right.
But the flow of the movie, it was like, okay, we're here. Oh, damn it. They took us here. We already know. Then they took us here. We already know. Then they took us here.
Right.
That's my only issue. There wasn't really any big surprise.
Isn't it the journey is the best part?
Well, the journey.
To get from the A to B to C plot lines?
Yeah.
I mean, we know what the C was already, but you still have to go through B.
But that's what I'm saying. We went there.
Right.
But there were no disconnects, really.
No.
So that was the only thing. It's like, okay, I see it coming, but all right, I'm still in the movie, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole thing that they fought in Russia, I saw that a mile away. I knew that was cut. I mean, I knew it was coming.
That was coming.
Well, they didn't hold a big press conference about it. This fight was sanctioned.
Right.
Some fights were sanctioned.
Right.
There wasn't, yeah, they were trying. They really they distanced themselves about he could kill you just like your father.
Yeah.
They didn't want to go there, but they kind of took it there.
Yeah.
You think I'll lose? No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But look at him, he's dangerous and look at his pops and it's fueled by hate and this is just not for Adonis, it's not about the championship. Don't pretend it's about your father. You want to get in this ring with him because, and they didn't just force that out. They had to have him, they had to have the disqualification and then the rebuilding of himself, which you could feel the agony there because as men, or as anyone out there, as an athlete, or if you go through something personal, or if you get torn down from the inside and it all comes out. And that healing process, you could feel. With the personal stuff that they went through, you could feel.
Yeah.
But again, you knew where they were going to take it. Yeah. That was my only issue.
Yeah, like you said, like I said, manly tears were shed. All right, but I'm willing to go ahead and I'm willing to go ahead and point that out to just saying that I'm a sap when it comes to this, But like I said, when it comes to a lot of the drama that we're pushing those emotions forward, it wasn't just the next plot line that they were bringing up.
Right.
It really was formulaic. We kind of knew where it was going to go.
Well, actually, one thing that actually kind of caught me surprised was that it was a girl. Because I figured they used the trope as there's So there's
boy, so we have the
right.
boy, train the boy
Exactly,
and you're going to be the next
right.
one.
And then another one was about Rocky's son. That was kind of interesting as well, being that that so we know that he tried the fighting and he's like, nah, this ain't for me. And then that struggle between father and son on both sides. But so I'm talking about things I like again, ain't I? Yeah. But so that's proof in the pudding that this movie is hard to talk. It's hard to talk.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. All right. Here's the thing about it. Okay. So, well, I mean, really, if you think about it, when it comes to the movie, you know exactly what you're going to get, and thankfully, what you get is crafted really fucking well. Okay. Yeah. What they put together is really well put together. And it's done in an orderly, really, really clean fashion and well thought out fashion. Like you said previously, when we were talking about previews and trailers and stuff like this, when I first heard that they were going to do Creed 2 and they announced it right away, some of the rumors and plot lines that they had out there that were really kind of out there had me really nervous for what they were thinking about doing. But thankfully, the ghost of Apollo Creed doesn't show up any place. All right. He doesn't end up in some sort of spiritual sparring match with Rocky or anything like that. Like what some of the early rumors were saying was going to happen with the script. In fact, I actually noticed that some of the vignettes and shortcuts that they have been dropping along with some of the trailers over the last few weeks, some of those points didn't show up in the movie at all.
At all.
Yeah.
Well, another thing too is that I guess what you can, I can see Rocky IV in that movie. I can see the plots because I mean they did take him out there, Creed out there in the middle of nowhere, except this time it was desert.
Yeah, it was. They shipped him out to New Mexico.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
right.
Rocky and they brought them out there.
And then
fighters go
to be reborn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean that's again. I think that goes back to the point that you were making that the plot was. We already knew what the plot was going to be. Okay. Yeah. The thing is that it was very predictable.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think, like I said earlier, the only thing that really wasn't predictable was that they had a baby girl, vice a baby boy.
Well, I didn't think that Ivan Drago was going to throw in the towel until the moment came.
Yeah, because spoilers, he wins at the end.
Yeah, well, wait.
Again, predictable.
He technically won the first fight. He gets his championship. He wins the first fight between Adonis Creed and Victor Drago. He technically wins.
Technically.
But fucking he lost.
Yeah.
Damn it, he lost. And that's when the trials and tribulations began. Yeah. To actually have to pull himself out of that. I mean, there was a lot of drama in between that. Is he going to defend his title? Who's his next opponent going to be?
And see, that was one thing, too, is that oh, guys, we're actually into a point where we're just talking about the plot.
Well, yeah.
Much. It's like during his training, the whole training montage, and then back again. It reflects back to the Rocky IV because I mean we watched Rocky IV last night.
Yeah,
and then by seeing and it kind of like okay, we're seeing this again.
Yeah,
we're seeing this again. I mean, I don't think it was the other drama that he was dealing with. That wasn't in Rocky IV too much.
Yeah,
but there was some drama in there, man.
Oh,
especially knowing that Rocky won't corner him for the first fight.
Yeah,
and he got messed up. He got fucked up.
Yeah,
I mean
I know. Which again made sure that Victor Drago was a threat. Okay, now that before we start, like, was that laundry listing off like our favorite moments and everything that happened in the movie, and we really start kind of spiraling into kind of random things. Now that they've got the second movie out of the way, and it's one of the top box office hits, for this Thanksgiving weekend, I think it's neck and neck with Wreck-It Ralph 2. It's something like it's something at like 35 million for the past between the 21st to the 23rd.
Right.
As far as the box office money goes, what do you think? Where do you think they can go next with this particular movie? Because the thing is that I thought they were going to go ahead and they were going to save him going against Stuntman and getting his car back for the next movie, not knowing that that's who was going to end up being his.
Well, he was the champion, and he got the championship. So, okay, are we going to see?
Yep, we are.
So, wait, you let me finish. Are we going to see him lose his title against someone that's a quality threat and then do the trial and tribulations and training again in order to get it back? Just like in Rocky 3.
I was thinking more of a Rocky 2, a rematch.
They just saw 2 matches between Victor and
I know, but because at the end.
With the Irish Ricky Conlan from the first Creed movie.
Yes. Because he is a champion, and if he goes up the ranks to become the number 1 contender again, I mean, he has no choice but to fight him.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that what's funny is that if the whole thing with the timing with Creed 1 and Creed 2 is that in Creed 1, the champion Irish Ricky Conlan takes on Adonis Creed as a publicity stunt, huge pay-per-view stunt, and everything else, because he's about to go away for like, what is it, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, because he went to jail.
Yeah, for gun possession or something like that. He was facing up to 7 years. If they follow that along as far as the actual timeline and chronology goes, he would be out. The problem though is that with the way that they have it kind of grounded right now, it would be, he's coming back and he has to be contender again after spending his best prime years in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that would be the guy.
But the thing is, the fact that he spent his time in jail would toughen him up a little bit, maybe. You know what I mean? You can throw that. No, I'm just saying you could throw that hook in there. And then by that time, too, his daughter will be 7, 8 years old. So he's going to have to deal with more. Like 4
or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5, yeah.
4, I thought he went away for 7.
But between the time to having a child and even before that, they were together in all those fights.
Right.
It had to take place for at least a couple of years.
Right. So what I'm saying is that so his daughter will be up to an age, to where that will solidify a home drama. Or, you know what I mean? Home stuff that he has to deal with while he's out there making money in the ring, defending his title.
2 things. Thank goodness Rocky doesn't die at the end.
I was actually expecting that, to be quite honest.
And if we're look, and don't do this. Don't have Clubber Lang have a freaking son and try to. No, don't freaking do that.
Clubber Lang.
Don't do the whole father and son thing that freaking far. Rocky 4 we can understand, but don't go there.
You know what? I'm going to go against the grain here, and I'd rather than not have another one. I think this is good because the way it ended. No, I think this is good. This is it. This is good. They close a lot of doors. We saw both, father and son on the Rocky side, father and son on Creed's side, and also father and son on what is it? Drago. Yeah. And they were running off, quote unquote, running off in the sunset. So, you know what? Just end it here. Let's because there's what other hooks do you have left? Well, other than him defending his belt. Is that interesting enough for a whole another movie?
Well, yeah because the thing is that...
But who can...
Well, the thing about it was that Rocky 3 was pretty much about Rocky being...
Absolutely, right. Title. Yes.
Well, his manager dying.
Yeah.
Right.
With his long-term...
Mickey
with his long-term mentor.
Basically, what I'm saying is this, is like, if there's a Creed 3, Rocky's going to die. And I'd rather them not make a Creed movie and then let You know what I mean? It's just like, because, like you just said, you know, you had the trainer, you know, through Rocky's problem. Because it seems like Rocky was kind of in a good place right now to where he has checked out, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, okay, so his, you know, Adrian, Paulie, you know, and his son Robert and his son
Logan.
His grandson, Logan.
Right, grandson Logan. So Rocky's in a happy place, and I think that he could finally.
Well, he did say at the end, it's all yours now.
Right, and that kind of, and I'm like, no, this is your time, because he sat down in the chair and we watched the celebration in the ring.
Well, and the thing is that with that, if it could be the point that you know, because boxers, even championship boxers, in the midst of their championship reigns, change trainers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
That's
right.
not a
Mike Tyson, for example. I'm just saying.
That's not an uncommon
No, it's
thing,
not.
All right.
Right.
Not that it's always a winning combination in the end, but it's not an uncommon thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
And we know at the end, Creed ends up moving back to LA. He ends up reconnecting with the guy, Duke's son.
Right.
I like that.
Where that whole thing was pretty much patched over, and that connection was made. So I think with that there, the great thing about this is that yes, this is a good.
It's a good stopping point.
It's a good stopping point, but that also means, as far as the slate goes for stories about Creed, it is completely blank.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Can take it anywhere.
All right, so let me ask you guys a question then. Are you satisfied
with the way
with it? Yeah, with it stop. If it stopped,
are we not craving more? Is that what you're asking?
For me, I'm not really craving more.
No,
I think I'm done.
We crave more with Creed 2.
Right.
You know, at the end of that, we were like, we would like to see a part 2.
Right.
Now, I would love to see the story continue as long as they don't go to the ways of Rocky V.
But there's nothing really to tell. I mean, other than, again, like you mentioned earlier, there is
Rocky 2 could have ended this way,
right? But
then not him defending the title.
But who is a believable villain, or who is a believable opponent?
Wait, we got Clubber Lang, who was just out of nowhere.
No, I got that. But what I'm saying is,
they could do it the same thing.
I don't want the Clubber Lang son.
No, not that. I'm just talking about anybody that's a threat. That's a threat.
Right, you can throw that. You can throw that out there.
That's what I mean.
But I think I'm satisfied. I think I had enough of the turkey.
Yeah.
The turkey was good.
Until next year.
What they haven't done is that with really for either Rocky or Creed,
right?
Okay, is that Rocky really didn't have the opportunity where it was like, well, only once in Rocky 4, where it was like he was the established veteran, all right, who was the stalwart defender of his championship, and there was the dangerous up-and-comer, the dangerous newcomer was dropped. All right. Now they can go ahead and they can create somebody out there like that to be a viable opponent. But my problem with that, here's the thing, that part right there is actually the easiest part of the plot for any of these movies, is finding an opponent.
Agree.
All right.
Agree.
Trying to figure out how things carry out in between, all the dramatic parts in between, the real life tendons and gristle connecting stuff. That's the part that's hard.
I mean, so in the next movie, let's theorize here. So the next movie, Rocky dies, his mother dies. His wife is completely deaf, his daughter is completely deaf. And that's plots that you can use, and that will, and he's out there trying to defend his title.
Yeah.
But then you're going to have to come up with a villain that will throw a big ass monkey wrench and all that stuff that he's dealing with at the house. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess but
just trying to leave Adonis on his own completely.
I'm just saying. I mean, that would be that. The level Creed 2 was...
You just saw him on his own because he chose to be.
Right. But
now you want to force feed that?
No, but... Well, it's a good plot. I mean, there's not. What else could there be other than him? Beating down another 10 people to defend his title.
He can get beat down.
Yeah.
Right. And also, during the movie, I think they did the time jumps pretty well too. Yeah. So in your opinion, how many years between Creed and Creed 2 do you suppose? I mean, he had enough to do 23 bouts. So what? About every 6 months?
He was already at 17.
Right.
He was already at 17. So 6 more fights. Okay.
Right.
So actually, it's around 3 years.
That's what I'm thinking, right?
So every 4 months is the fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So how far to the right are they going to jump if there's a theoretical Creed 3? I mean, because how many more times? Because you could just throw him in there and say, okay, AD is like, he defended his title 10 times. And then it took 10 times for somebody up and coming powerhouse to knock him down off the.
Sometimes it takes that long.
No, yeah. I know, but it's a trope.
No, it's.
Look at what happened. Well, if you go by the story of Rocky 3,
right,
he did some handpicking of the fight.
Right. Yeah. So is that what's going to happen to what's the other guy's trainer's name? What'd you call it? I forgot his name.
Oh, with
his son.
Yeah,
that trained
son. Yeah,
right.
I can't remember his name off the top.
So
of my head.
What's going to happen too? And to me, it's like you're just recycling things. It's already. I don't see enough. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being cynical here, but I feel that I'm at a happy spot where I can walk away from this franchise satisfied that I saw Creed's son grow up, become a professional boxer, get the title, and defend his title. We saw it all from A to B, A to Z, I think. And we saw him bring new life into the world. We saw him get married. Look, guys, what else could there be? I'm satisfied. I really am.
Losing the title and getting it back.
But that's true, though. That's always it always happens.
Unfortunately, the reality of this is that if this ends up as successful as I think it's going to end up being, okay, Warner Brothers, they're going to ask for a third, okay, and what's the only place left? Well, the champ getting back up after being defeated. All right, that's really
a major defeat.
Yeah, major defeat. If he gets beat worse than what we saw him got beat in this film.
Why am I hearing that "Eye of the Tiger" song in my head right now?
Hey, wait!
Rising up.
We didn't hear any of that.
But we did hear some of the signature music in that movie.
They didn't have Rocky training. They didn't have Ivan Drago training. Thank God they didn't.
But they did have that training music going.
Yeah, they had to have the training music going.
But no, I mean, so in order. I agree with you that, and Rev, I really agree with you that if this becomes really successful, there'll be another one. But at this point, I'm satisfied.
Yeah, you'll be satisfied until a couple of years later where you'll be like, yeah, they'll make it. I want to see a Creed 3.
No. I think I'm done, man. Because you know what? I'll just buy this. Look, I'll buy this on DVD.
I can't have enough good movies, people.
No, I'm not saying good. No,
good movies, not the bullshit that they keep. No, but in Grey Mouse's defense, I can understand where you're coming from. You do kind of feel complete.
Yeah,
I do hear that.
They wrapped up a lot of.
Oh yeah,
stuff. They wrapped up a whole bunch of stuff, man.
And it wasn't about Rocky. It wasn't about Ivan all the way.
No.
So
the whole thing with Ivan and
Bridget Nielsen is in the movie,
right? The whole thing with Ivan and him trying, because I think what he was trying to do was trying to get his girl back, his wife back. Because after that loss to Rocky,
no. He said he lost everything.
Right. That's what he lost: country wife, and family.
Respect, wife. and look, it was like, damn. But wait, that's what kind of bothered me. I'm like, wait a minute. What do you mean he lost? But he's like, I lost the fight. But he even said that he's like, I lost.
Right.
I lost.
Right.
Not anybody else, me. I
Right.
lost. But they abandoned you, Ivan. Why the fuck would you want them back? They cheered Rocky before the
Right.
fucking match was over.
Right.
Fuck them.
And see, Kenny, steroids will never get you anywhere.
You're about, what, 30 years late for that PSA?
See, that was a good thing too. That was a good thing too that they didn't bring up that hook either. I was gonna be like, oh my god, if I see a needle, if I see a needle, and if I see a needle going into Victor's arms,
see. And as far as certain things, they told us by pictures. They didn't have flashbacks of certain things.
right?
Damn, but wow.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're spiraling downhill, man.
Before we spiral into more random.
I was trying to go past that.
Yeah. All right. Just we really don't know where they're going to go next. All right. Final verdicts. Yay, nay, or meh, like we always say. Guys.
Is that a question or a statement? Yay.
All right.
Yes. Like I said, I wasn't taken out of the movie. I wasn't like, nope, done.
Popcorn down and leave.
Yeah, no. They didn't Batman Forever. They didn't Batman and Robin me. They didn't do that.
There's no Barbara Gordon more.
There's no Barbara Gordon in there.
No, she wasn't even named Barbara Gordon.
Barbara Pennyworth moments.
Go see this movie. Watch the first Creed. Watch this.
Wow.
Yeah, it is great. It is a great sit-down movie, and it's a theater movie. Okay, don't waiting for the other just ways to watch it. Watch it here. Watch it in the theater. It's well worth it. You'll get some laughs off it too.
Yeah.
I mean, there were jokes that went from the last movie.
Yeah.
I mean, even Claire Huxtable had a couple of jokes in this movie. So.
American's mom did. Absolutely right. I give it a meh. No. No, this movie is great. It was very satisfying. The turkey was done. It had stuffing in it. You know, the cranberries were good. And yeah, sorry, it's just Thanksgiving. That's the reason why. No, the movie was great. I highly recommend it to anybody, especially if they are the fans of Rocky, you know, or fans of good movie.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it was a really good movie. I highly recommend it, and absolutely.
Yeah. No surprise here. Yays all around. I'm going to vote yay on this particular one. Like I said, I was a sappy sack of shit, and I was crying like a manly person of bitchly manners in the theater. All right. So yeah, it was rather dusty in there. You know, irritated my eyes a bit. But yeah, all things aside, you know, there are certain things about it that were kind of formulaic, you know, whether or not it be the emotional drama or the flow of the events and for the sports side of the drama and everything else. You know, is it a worthy follow-up to Creed? Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, there aren't as many parts that were completely blew me away.
Right.
But fuck, did I find myself invested in each and every goddamn character. I
Yeah.
mean, no, literally each and every fucking character. That
It's almost a point to where you are invested in each scene.
Yeah.
You know, every scene.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, and formulaic or predictable or not, there are a lot of movies out there that are formulaic and predictable that just, you know, will lose you within 30 seconds, and you don't give a fuck about anybody.
And you don't care about the movie no more. You're like, man, screw this movie. But Creed 2 was not that.
Yeah, definitely this one, folks. Go out of your way, watch it in theater, support the movie. And if they decide to go ahead and make a third one, well, we'll be back here.
Well, me and the Reverend will go see it.
Yeah, I'll see
He
it.
has his piece that he's built up already.
Yeah. Well, you know, you'll see at least two of us here in front of this camera, you know, making another review.
What,
So-
3 years?
Yeah, 3 years or so.
Probably.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, maybe remotely you'll be in Japan when we talk about that. So, you know, see,
I can do it remotely.
Get him the smile now. All right. With all of that said, folks, if you watch Creed 2, we want to know, what are your thoughts on the movie? What did you think about it? What are your thoughts on our review? Do you think we're full of shit? Is there any sort of suggestions that you think we can go ahead and make use of to actually make things better? We'd appreciate those. You can let us know by leaving a comment below. While you're at it, if you like this particular video, we appreciate the like. If you honestly didn't, go ahead and mark it unlike. Just leave us a comment regardless. And if you want to see more of the videos from us, either individually or as the whole of the Middle-Aged Guys, go ahead and subscribe to our channels, turn on those notifications, and you'll know whenever we put out brand new videos.
Ring the bell.
Indeed. With that, no bullshit on this one. Our review for Creed 2 ends right here. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
And I'm Grey Mouse 1.
All forms of entertainment has the right to exist. Even if you don't like it, this exists. We like it, and I want to see a third one. Grey Mouse.
Yeah.
Did you remember to take a shit this time? Yeah. Hitting jokes from that movie. Credits.
Don't even have to sit there and worry about, like, cheesy fucking Cold War shit. Like, hydraulic fucking gloves hitting each other and exploding.
You can change.
We all can change.
Everybody can change. There wasn't that garbage.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.